Good afternoon, I'm Mark Ferguson with a National 9 News update. First, the major headlines from this hour. An American soldier is in custody after a grenade attack injured 13 fellow US troops. A British commander says 1 US Marine and 4 Iraqis have been killed near Basra. Iraq claims to have downed an American aircraft. The Red Cross says there are 200 war wounded in Baghdad hospitals. The Prime Minister is confident of victory in the war against Iraq, and thousands have turned out for anti-war protests. In Sydney, a protest is taking place at Belmore Park, and we're now joined by the Nine Network's Damien Ryan. Damien, it looks like a big turnout in Sydney this afternoon.
Yes, Mark, unlike some of the demonstrations we've seen around the world this weekend, this protest in Sydney has been peaceful both in name and nature. Many thousands of people have again given up their Sundays to take to the streets to send John Howard a message that we should not be involved in this war. But with the conflict underway, some people I've spoken to have conceded that there's nothing that can be done. Their only hope is that the war will be swift and that our troops return home safely. Back to you in the studio.
Damien, thank you. Just under 2 hours ago, Prime Minister Howard held a press briefing in Canberra where he told reporters progress in the war is going better than expected.
There's no doubt that our forces have performed superbly in accordance with their very fine reputation for professionalism and skill and courage, and I want on behalf of the country to record our admiration and respect and gratitude to all of them, and continue, of course, to share with all Australians a desire that their mission be accomplished quickly, successfully and safely.
Prime Minister Howard speaking in Canberra. That's the news for now. We'll be back with a further update in 1 hour, and we'll have more details in National 9 News at 6 o'clock. Good afternoon, I'm Mark Ferguson with a National 9 News update. Tens of thousands of protesters have marched through Sydney streets in yet another anti-war demonstration. Police say the crowd is well behaved and no arrests have been made. Protests are also underway in other capital cities around the nation. Meantime, in Madrid, 50 people have been injured, 18 of them police, in a massive demonstration in the Spanish capital. Still on the war against Iraq, and a US soldier is in custody, suspected of wounding 13 colleagues in a grenade attack in Kuwait. 6 of the soldiers were seriously injured when up to 4 grenades were rolled inside a tactical operations tent. The suspect is said to be an engineer. The injured were from the 101st Airborne Division. British Prime Minister Tony Blair has been told Iraqi President Saddam Hussein was injured in the first Allied airstrikes and required a blood transfusion when his bunker was hit. Kurdish troops inside northern Iraq have allegedly been in a standoff with Turkish forces. That's despite denials from Turkey that it was sending troops into Iraq. The US is advising citizens to consider leaving Indonesia, fearing possible attacks related to the US-led invasion of Iraq. Australia's Foreign Minister Alexander Downer says around 100 Australians in Indonesia's second largest city, Surabaya, have been directly warned of a possible terrorist attack. The government can't confirm if the threats are linked to the war in Iraq. And organisers say the Academy Awards ceremony will go ahead in Hollywood tomorrow morning Australian time, despite the war. The 75th anniversary special will be toned down and security will be boosted. And in news just to hand, several of the world's major insurance companies are considering putting a surcharge on airlines flying to countries neighbouring Iraq because of the increased risks linked to the military strike. They're the headlines for this hour. We'll have another update in around half an hour's time with full details in National 9 News at 6 o'clock.